I used to work at Google within the AdWords department. So now most of our services revolve around Google and its core search product.
I watched your video about the next this year goals, where you want to bring your offline business and also this SEO content company momentum.
Yep.
How do you want to grow this business? How do you get the leads from right now? What is your mix of lead channels?
Literally, we haven't done any inbound or outbound lead gen. I work off of relationships. We do a lot of referrals, networking, relationship building, word of mouth, which is the best way to get new business. That way you don't have to spend a lot of time or money with lead gen, with inbound and outbound marketing techniques. But that's not enough to scale and grow a business. So now we're talking about scaling and growing the business, and you're going to need to do lead gen and get more clients and more of a operation and workflow to achieve that.
The agency is quite new, right? When did you
Yeah,
start?
we're probably like a little over a year old, probably 15 months ago.
And you have a team of 12 people.
It fluctuates based on how many interns I have, but yeah, like on average, we have about 10 people on team.
That's quite big already. I mean, after 15 months. How did you get this growth? I mean, was it like in the beginning that you invested and hired a lot of people, or was it just totally organic?
Totally organic. I mean, there's only four of us who are full time, and then there's four people part time, and then there's two interns currently. So a lot of the growth has just been, it started with me and my partner, and we get more clients and more revenue coming in, and need more fulfillment and execution. So we bring in somebody else, and then from there, like, we get busy again, and have more demand. And a lot of that's just happened organically with meeting people and getting introductions, getting lucky.
How do you get referrals? You said this is a big part.
Yeah, just by being known within the industry, as far as like a certain market or service that you provide. So I like to focus on my expertise within Google search, because I used to work at Google within the AdWords department. So now most of our services revolve around Google and its core search product. So SEO and SEM and local search, those are three of our four core services. And so I've had different speaking engagements. I go to different networking events, startup, entrepreneurial events, marketing events, and kind of just massage relationships and develop those into trust and providing value. And that's how I usually get people to come on board.
Yeah. What is your target customer group?
The entire reason why I do what I do is because there's different types of entrepreneurs out there. You could have anything from somebody who's like startup, like the Facebooks of the world, like trying to build like the best app and scale their business and put it in everybody's hands. And then you could have an entrepreneur who's literally a one-man show running like a small locksmith business. And then you could have an entrepreneur who's somebody who is an entrepreneur within a company in like building out a company. So my focus is small business entrepreneurs, simply because I'm blue collar. I'm from the country. I have a lot of family members and friends who have small businesses, but a lot of them don't understand digital marketing. So a lot of the big startups and everything, they use really good agencies or hire somebody internally and they get marketing. But a lot of the small businesses, can be kind of makes or breaks them with their digital marketing. Like, are they showing up on Google? Are people converting on their website and calling them or coming to their storefront? Those are the people that need the digital marketing but just don't understand how to do it. By giving them this digital momentum, it sort of empowers their business to scale and grow, and essentially provide them with, what they're most concerned about, what they want most in life, which is to not worry so much about, paying their expenses, paying their bills, paying their employees, being able to focus on the big picture and have time for themselves.
Yeah, a predictable lead generation for them, basically. That's what you provide, right? Through organic search, getting found better. In what way do you have to educate your customers? Because as you say, like blue collar, they might not even know so much about the internet or how things work in SEO. How do you do that?
So a lot of it, even more so with small business, is developing the trust and the relationship, because a lot of them don't even want to know how it works. Mm-hmm. They don't care to know. They don't have time to learn. So they go off of your trust as a marketing partner, and that's how I position it. Like, we're partnering on this. Like, I'm going to be your right arm marketing force to help you grow this business. And so you provide that trust, and then they're just like, okay, do your thing, make my phone ring, make me more money.
And how much?
So it's not so much educational.
Okay, so basically you're doing it for them. It's done for your solution, and they don't need to care about it so much. How much work is from you required, you as a founder? How much have you systematized the agency in a way that you don't need to work so much in the business and rather on the business?
That's one of my core focuses this year. Is, of course, like, I'm reading books like 4 Hour Work Week and learning how to scale business and like not work so much, because right now I probably work 70 to 90 hours a week.
Really?
Yeah.
Insane. Whoa.
Right? But to me, it's not work. Like, it's just like how I live my life.
Yeah.
It's how I operate. I don't know what I'd do differently. So it's about aligning my goals with what I want to do. Tim Ferriss, the 4 Hour Work Week, he wants to travel and like do cool things and like go all around the world and like go salsa dancing. I was kind of raised this way, to like work hard, put in my time, like build a company, employ other people, and like, build something you can care about. But to answer your question, for 2017, I am trying to scale with operations and workflow and, systemize the company. That's our core focus. One of my core focuses this year, because I kind of want to get off the execution and fulfillment side of actually providing the service and have my team members do that. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to focus on biz dev, management, bringing in new customers, new clients, and managing those relationships and just growing the company.
Do you think the challenges are more in the inside, that you need to systematize more, or more on the outside, getting predictable revenue streams?
I'd say it starts on the inside in getting your system in place, so that way you can scale with your inbound and outbound marketing approaches. And in the meantime, like, we're building kind of like a database of contacts and who we want to go after and how we're going to approach that, which kind of goes into our workflow and our process for the systemization.
How do you do it right now with the CRM? Is it mostly you working with the CRM, and how do you want to bring this to your team? Do you already have a plan for that? If so, I would like to know a bit how you lay that out.
Yeah, that's what we're currently working on. So we just moved to a new CRM platform called 17 Hats.
Never seen.
You've heard of it?
No. Interesting.
So it's brand new. They're still working out some kinks, but essentially they have this 17 Hats Ally, ALLY, and that's more for agencies, in which you're actually given 3 people and you pay, like $600 or $700 a month. And you get an account manager, you get a client assistant, and you get a bookkeeper. Mm-hmm. So instead of me paying like $1,000 a month for an account manager or like $500 a month for a bookkeeper, I get all 3, and then we also get their CRM platform, which helps with workflow. You can create clients and leads and projects and do invoicing, billing. It sets up an automated workflow for like lead to project to quote to invoice to all that stuff. So that's something we've been working on the past couple of weeks is the workflow,
Mhm.
systemizing that so then we can have a system to bring in leads. So pay a couple $100, you can scan any type of industry database you want and get name, number, email, address, mailing address, website. You take all that information and you focus on one given industry. So for me, I'm an entrepreneur. I own a couple different repair companies
Mhm.
in Philadelphia, like phone and electronics repair. And so I've had speaking engagements where I speak about digital marketing for repair companies.
Mhm.
And I've talked in like Miami, Nashville, Las Vegas. And from that, now I'm like a thought leader, like an expert in the industry for digital marketing for repair companies. And so now I can use that to my credibility for when we do the outbound. So now I have a list of like a database of like over 2,000 contacts or repair companies within the industry.
Mhm.
So now we're systemizing a workflow to curate, a relationship and, bring in those new clients.
That list to download the contacts for a certain industry. How do you what is it, a software or a service, or where do you buy that from?
You can get a VA out of India, pay them like $5 an hour, and they'll scan all the Yelps and Google pages,
Mhm.
and maybe they're using something like Amazon Mechanical Turk. I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
All I know is it's not that expensive, and it would waste my time if I were going to do it myself.
And then what do you do when you have that list?
You qualify the list, so you go through the list, and then we kind of curate the leads by also hiring a third party
Mhm.
to double check if all the information's accurate. Um, are the numbers good? Are the emails good? Is the business still in business? And at that point, maybe the list narrows down a third.
Mhm.
So if you still have like 1,500 contacts left, well, I'm not going to spend my time calling every single contact. So you develop a system where we're hiring another third party that's in America, that's a lead gen company that'll call one by one each company.
Mhm.
And their goal is to set up, like, introduce us, find out what that company's doing, find out if they're doing any pay-per-click ads, find out what their budget is, who their decision maker is, if they're interested in hearing more about how they can save and make more money. And then he schedules them a call with me.
What service is that, and how much does it cost?
There's a couple different ones. Um, I'm trying a new one that I've never used before, so they're going to get started next week. So I'll let you know how it goes.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's our strategy. We're also doing more with content this year. We're coming out with our own content. I'm trying to come out with a video series,
Yeah.
and it's almost done. It's kind of like you've heard of like Udemy, like the video courses you can take.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that, but it's also we might do something like a click funnel with it, if you know
Mhm.
what those are.
Yeah, I do.
So we're gonna have some sort of opt-in. If it's called the 5 steps to get on the first page of Google,
No, that sounds good.
and it's gonna be what's that?
That sounds good.
Yeah, so it's gonna be an intro video, then the 5 steps, and then a conclusion. Um, and the idea is to give them kind of like a base level of knowledge. And obviously, SEO is really confusing. So they're going to watch all the videos and be like, well, I still don't know what to do. And then they're going to opt in to either schedule a call with me or like find out more information or, book something online.
Yeah, it makes sense. I see you already have some videos online on your blog. I think it's a
Yeah,
good step.
we're trying to do like a video blog once a week, get more video and blog content on the website, and just be more of a thought leader within the local market at least.
Yeah, definitely makes sense. Where do you want to bring this business? I mean, I saw the goals of this year, but in general, like in the future.
So I have a 10-year plan. I'm trying to retire before the age of 40, which I will. So my 10-year goal is to like 10 years from now, I'm going to be completely, you know, off the business. Like, I'm still going to be the owner, majority shareholder. And at that point, I'm just going to leverage all my connections and funnel them into the business. I'll no longer be the account manager. I'll no longer be managing the team. I'm just going to be like chairman of the board, bringing them new business still. But I still want us to maintain the focus of search, just because having worked at Google and having friends there, like I always wanted to work at Google. That was like my dream. And that kind of propelled me to this stage of my life, you know, leveraging that experience and, you know, that opportunity in my life to build this business, which was really neat. And I'm not like a 9-to-5 corporate guy. That was never in the cards for me. I can't work for somebody else. You know, I'm kind of like my father in that way. But what I really like about this type of business, you know, owning a digital marketing company that helps other companies, is you can get involved with other really cool projects. Some, for example, we have a revenue share. So some companies can't afford a retainer, but they want to grow their business, so they'll do a revenue share with you. So if you develop that trust and that partnership, you can make a lot more money than instead of the retainer. And then you get to learn more about a business and what they're doing and like how it works and everything. And it could lead to new opportunities and trips and stuff like that. So it's going to turn into more of a lifestyle business for me and open up new doors to try new things with my life. And I'm not going to be working 80 hours a week 3 years from now. I'm putting in the time now to build a system so I can take a step back